usually figure that means they sold it and they just didn't take it down.
Something. I hate it when they list something like this thing here, but they never lectured or whatever they're gonna call it, and no measurements.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to know if that's gonna fit where I want it?
Right.
Or if you're like my, one of my workers, she thought she was ordering us little plants for our desks. She didn't look at anything else. They came in, they were this big.
Oh, God.
They were like for a dollhouse.
They were little plants.
She was thinking, you know, yay big, about yay tall. No, they're literally for a dollhouse. So out of respect, we all have them on our desk.
All right.
Thanks for the plant.
How about
Things you buy your,
Yeah.
like if it's an appliance or whatever, it's like they don't tell you what size it is, you don't know what's gonna fit in your category.
Millimeters, centimeters, or inches. You gotta see what it is.
Gotta see. Okay, so you will.
Call to order, pledge allegiance.
Yep, and then you'll turn it over to me.
Sounds like a plan.
See, easy so far. And you gotta make sure that's close enough. So you might wanna pull it towards you, because it's not gonna be close enough at this point.
It's almost intimidating.
And you tell me before you're ready, so I can actually start.
When it's 3 o'clock, we'll start.
Okay.
20 seconds. Tick, 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 tick. Start on time, end on time. That's the way I always.
Are you gonna introduce yourselves?
We did last week.
Oh, you got the cards in there.
Yeah. We all know who we are.
Why do now?
All right, we're ready. Let's rise and we'll call this meeting to order, and let's all recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With that being done, and all of us here, we'll turn this over to Sharon.
Okay, again, thank you for the public for coming and those that are going to be affected by our decisions today. Anyone that wishes to speak before the board will come to the podium. I will swear you in since this is a public hearing, and then you will just need to state your name for the record, and then I don't believe we're probably going to have too much of a time limit unless it is really, really, really long that you're speaking. So unless the board has any. Okay.
Sounds good.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that under penalties of perjury that the testimony that you will give today at the county election board meeting is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
So help me God, yes.
Okay?
My name's Dale Seward. I'm the Carroll County Republican Chair. And I sent you all emails a few days ago. Hope you received those okay. We have a situation here where there's a lot of bad factors coming into play that have caused 5 individuals to have problems getting their reports in. These are 5 individuals who I've never seen have any problem getting their stuff in. I don't believe they're repeat offenders, are they?
No.
And this was all brought forth by the legislature. They passed this thing that nobody really knew about. Had Sharon not been at a conference and heard this and came back and notified our elected officials, we'd probably have a room full because nobody knew about it. It was handled poorly by the legislature. That's who's to blame for this. And then you had the residual effect that people, were on vacation. People were busy running their businesses, busy running their lives and everything like that. And then you had a problem getting some of them in. And that's why we're here today. And you have some with small fines and you have some with larger fines. And it's really a tough situation. I know that they've had a problem getting them in, and that's against the rules. But with all the other factors and all the other circumstances, I would ask the board to pray that you have mercy and understanding, and that you look at this and say, okay, let's either just do away with them altogether, or at least reduce it down to a certain percentage to where it's fair for everybody due to those circumstances. And I'm telling you right now, this is not a partisan issue, not for me anyway. I'd be up here whether the room is full of Democrats or Republicans, because again, it all blows back on the legislature. So that's where I stand with it. I know you're going to ask for other comments, but I will make you aware that I have 2 letters from 2 other people who are not here today, and that is Angie Brown and Bill Brown. And if you show me some latitude, they're not very long, I can read those after everybody else talks. So I thank you, and I hope we have I hope you understand and see the problem and where it exactly lies. Thank you very much.
And just to bring Jeff up to where we're already at, it goes by a state statute, it's $50 a day. Unless the board chooses unanimously to reduce those fines. If one of us votes that we do not want to reduce the fines, it automatically goes back to statutory amounts.
Okay.
Did you not send them an email?
We did not do emails because I did not have emails for everyone. We did letters, and then we did at least 2 phone calls, 3 days prior and the day before, and 1 phone call we made was to dual people, but that one was made the morning of.
When were the letters sent?
The letters were sent on, oh, sorry, that's,
Wasn't a whole long time because you didn't find out about it till.
right, thank you. I couldn't find the date.
It was a
Yes.
short time. 'cause
I
you
was
found
I
out.
was at conference the 16th, 17th, came back, or sorry, 17th and 18th. I got back in the office on June 19th. That was the first, I was in the office early, started typing those letters, and they went out. We took them over to the post office that day to mail them, so that they were definitely out in the mail that day. The
when
law
were-
changed on July 1st. The documents had to be in by July 11th.
So they had almost a month.
Give or take. And I will tell you that I heard from several as they were bringing them in that they didn't think it applied to them because they're not running. So I think that was the confusion too, that because this was a new thing, July 1st. Usually when you don't spend money, make money, any of that, you close your campaign immediately after the election. So a lot of the people that were bringing them in that were responsible for turning them in honestly did not think that it applied to them because they're not going to be running again, or they're not actively running. So it was very confusing legislation.
How many people got them in on time?
Oh, I can't tell you that. All but 5. Oh, well, I guess I can. $35.
Thank you.
And of the 5 late, there was just 2 was late by just the afternoon, right? Missed it by a couple hours.
Yes, I received one of them at 2:52 on the deadline day, and the other one was at 4:58 on the deadline day. And the other 3 all came in on the same day, which was July 22nd. One came in at 9:17 a.m., and the others 2 came in at 11:07 a.m.
So everybody has all their stuff filed.
Everyone is, yes, everything has been filed.
Okay.
I have a couple questions, comments.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony that you are to give today to the county election board meeting is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. Just state your name, please.
Daryl Yoder. Is that working?
Is it green? Is there a green light?
I don't think you need it anyway. First of all, I'd like to thank you for sending out the letters in the first place, because from what I understand from you, there's some people that didn't even send letters to their officials.
That is correct.
So thanks for doing that. And I would not make excuses for it being late, because I take responsibility for that. I did try to drop him off on July 3rd. When I got over here, I found out the office was closed the day before July 4th. And then after that, well, like I said, all the excuses, but I was on vacation, and I really didn't think it was that big of a deal. So when I got back and turned it in, the Tuesday after I got back from vacation, then I found out it was $50 a day. I thought that was a little a little steep. I'm obviously willing to pay it if that's what it is, because I know it's my fault. But I do think that with the short time period and the confusion, that the penalty shouldn't be that steep. And unless, does the county have to pay that?
No, that's candidates are responsible for paying that.
Well, I mean, if you were to say, well, we'll waive the fees to the candidates, do you
No.
still have to pay that
No.
penalty?
No, it's whatever the board finds the candidate is all that's paid. There's no.
Okay. So yeah, I would ask that it be at least reduced, if not eliminated, just because of the confusion, even though like I said, I do take responsibility for it being late in my case. Now, I could have emailed it very easily as opposed to getting back over here, and I know I could have put it in the mail, but I don't do that a lot anymore because of the timing it takes to go to Indy and back. And I could have emailed it, but I didn't see an email address on here anywhere. I guess I could have looked it up on the website,
Or you could have called the number that's on there, and we could have given it to you. I mean, either.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's just my. I think with a short period of time, I'm not blaming Sharon whatsoever. She did us a favor by letting us know. But I think due to the timing that it may be a little steep, $50 a day. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
I didn't come to say anything, but I can. I mean,
It's up to you.
I don't care. Never done this before. Raise your right hand, please.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony that you are to give today to the county election board meeting is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Kathy Justice, Liberty Township trustee. I had my form filled out early. I just never made it to Delphi in time to get it turned in. Sharon had attempted to call me, and our phone was not working because it's a landline for the township number that I use, because we were getting the stupid fiber lines in. I just happened to sit down at the computer, saw the email, and I scanned it to her right away. Obviously, it was late. It's just my fault. I was a couple hours late. That's all I have to say. I mean, $50 for 2 hours, I think that's a little steep, but again, I was late.
Mine's like 10 days late. It's a little more than $50.
I panicked when I saw the email.
Okay.
I'm still under oath.
You are.
Okay. I received a letter from Angie Brown and also Bill Brown. They're both out of state right now. Angie's says, I received a notice that I needed to file a form indicating that I have a checking account for my campaign for Carroll County Council. I have a checking account established for my campaign. As I was just elected on the last election, I obviously will not be using it for quite some time. Also, the form that I had to have filled out was one that was previously filled out prior to the election. I feel the fees implemented are not in any way appropriate. What message is the purpose to these fees? This position doesn't pay a lot. I am asking you to waive all fees as this is something new to running for office. And that's from Angie Brown. Bill Brown also sent me a letter, and I'll read it. To the members of the election board, I respectfully request that all fines be forgiven. I have run for office 8 times and have never had to maintain an unused checking account. And all the times I have sought office, I have had 2 donors. In my first election in 1996, I had a friend give me $100. And a couple elections back, a different friend gave me a partial roll of stamps. Engineering companies and other vendors always ask what they can do to help, but I always thank them and refuse donations. I have purchased signs and mailed out letters, but always on my own dime. And this last election, I didn't spend a cent. I did not intend to violate any new rule. I just forgot. That happens on occasion when you're 76. Thank you for your consideration, William R. Brown. If I may, speaking as the Republican Party chair, and I would encourage the Democrat chair to do the same thing. I see an opportunity to become more organized as we move forward from the chair's standpoint. And what I'm going to try and do is communicate more with your office as to who has what coming in, time-wise and everything like that. And like I told, I believe it was Kathy today, I said, don't run into a problem in the future. If you've got something that needs to be dropped off, and I'll explain to my elected officials, there's a drop box out there. And you can also call me. I'll come and pick them up or meet you somewhere and get them in here and drop them off too. So I think there's ways to keep this from, not happening unless you're just, but if we can do that from my standpoint, I'm willing to take on that extra work to try and make sure that our people don't get into problems in the future. And like I said, I would encourage Mary Ann to do the same thing. Because, we represent our elected officials, and I think that's no more than fair that we, reach out and try and make sure that everybody's in a good standing. Because, you get right down to it. Of course, we don't have anything going on in a newspaper right now, but you get right down to it. I don't want to sit there as the chair and see 5 or 6 elected Republican officials having a problem with this, that, and the other. I'm willing to go the extra step and work with your office to try and make sure that doesn't happen. So that's all I have, period. Thank you.
Okay, I went back and tried to find when we had this situation the last time. Mm-hmm. Best I can tell, we still made them pay the full $50 times however many days. Is that not correct? Is my memory not?
No, we have typically reduced them in the past. We don't usually charge the full amount, but we've never had any that have been this high either. I think the one time, I think the fee might have been $300, and I think we reduced it by half.
Okay. Well, I moved that the 2 that came in on the day, but they were afternoon, that we waived their $50.
I would agree with that. I would also move that because this is a new law and there's a lot of confusion that went on with this, and going forward, we're going to have better communication and everybody's going to understand better. I'd say we waive all of them for this time.
Okay, I would agree with that if you didn't have 35 people that made it on time and only 5 that didn't. I'd be more inclined to agree with you to cut them in half than I am to do away with them. Only if she'd have told me that 35 people didn't make it and 5 did, I'd agree with you. But since the vast majority knew about it from the same way that the other 5 did, I would meet you at halfway, but I don't think I'm willing to vote to cut them completely. Because her office did the best they could to try to get everybody notified.
And I don't like either motion.
Well, part of me says that we don't make the law, we're just supposed to enforce it.
Right.
So from that standpoint, if you're just going to enforce it, that was why I asked what we did the last time, because there's a part of me that says that's the law and our job's just to enforce the law.
And I think under normal circumstances, had this been like in the past, they've had the calendar for an entire year. They knew when the reports were due. They received certified letters. You know, and these were candidates that had run for years. They knew when the reports were due. I think this is to me, this is a different situation because it's never been like this before. They have always closed as a clerk, I closed my campaign. You know, I'm sitting in the room with 88 out of 92 clerks, and not a single one of us knew this had passed through law. Not a single one of us. Had we all not been there, had they not even discussed that, we would have all been uncompliant. And there were clerks that, because the election division told us it is not our job to notify an elected official. They are to know what the law is, when it changes, and how it affects them. That's not been Carroll County's way. We have always reached out to our candidates and always made sure that they've got the updated information that they need. I don't think wiping it completely out is necessarily the answer, but I think if you're going to wipe out the 2 that came in the same day, I think to not wipe out the other ones would not be correct. Late is late. It doesn't matter. Late is late. 12:01 is late. So I would be more in favor of greatly reducing them. At the end of the day, it's not, to me, it's not about the dollar amount they're paying. They're paying something. And whether it's $5, $25, $50, they're going to pay something. But some of these positions don't make very much. I mean, they have to make at least $5,000, but that's it. And I'm just not in favor of even cutting it in half. I think that's still $300 is a lot for something that I'm not even sure why it was changed.
The only reason I was willing to forgive the 2 that was on there, a lot of times we deal in society with things that are due by end of business on a particular day. So I was given the benefit of the doubt that 12:01 is kind of a strange time when most...
Well, all of the reports that are for campaign reports are due at noon.
Okay.
All of them. Yep.
In most of
Yes,
the world,
in the normal world, yes.
it's at the end of the business day. That was why I
But
was willing.
all reports for election-related candidates and their committees, those are always due at noon, and they've always been due at noon. That's never changed.
I make a motion that we, all the fees we just charge 10% of what's due. And that's fair across for everybody. I mean, it's the same for everybody.
Are we going to set a precedent by doing that?
I don't believe so. I think this is a unique situation. I don't consider this a normal. This isn't like a campaign finance. Campaign finance is when you're turning in your financial contributions and expenditures. This was literally reopening their campaign to say, yep, I'm an elected official and I'm currently holding a seat. There's nothing financial related to this. And I will tell you, I have been in the office since 2009. No one has ever walked into the office and asked to look at a copy of it. It's just not an important document that people come in and request. Campaign finance reports, absolutely. We have people come in that want to look at those. But they don't come in and look to see if Johnny Smith has a campaign opened and what he was running his campaign as.
Okay, then I'll second this motion.
Call for vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously.
Okay, so, so Kathy Justice will owe $5. Brady Wiles will owe $5. Daryl Yoder, Angie Brown, and Bill Brown will each owe $60. Does anyone from the public wish to make any other comments?
Thank you.
I do have one more question.
Okay, just got to come up here so the mic will pick you up.
It's real quick.
Okay.
So when I came into the office and filed my paper,
Yes.
I also had the other one filled out and tried to turn it in, but they handed it back to me and
Right.
said, oh, this is not due till January.
Right. It is not, yeah, you can't file that one early because it's for this calendar year. It's for since there's not an election this year, it's running January 1st through December 31st of 2025.
So then we'll have a deadline on that one that could be
Yes, and
late
that'll
also.
be in January.
January's the deadline?
January, yes, you have to turn the report in January of 2026.
Anytime in the month of January?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, you can turn
Yeah.
it in. It's due, I don't have the calendar sitting in front of me, but it's usually due maybe around the 16th or 19th. But you can bring it in January, well, not January 1st because we're not open, but
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
yep.
All right, is that everything? Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.